Hi, it's Artie from Brown Bear Herbs. I want to talk to you about Guerrilla Puffs. This is a seasonal blend, so it's not always available, but I've been having it available more lately because we've been going through such tumultuous political times. I created the blend right after Trump took office, and I don't know if you remember because it seems like it's only gotten worse, but at the time it was a sharp contrast that suddenly the news was just filled with more and more horrifying things that we're all having to deal with and were really intimately affecting our lives. Like new legislation that was oppressive and um, really antagonizing beliefs and racism, sexism, all that stuff. So the Gorilla Puffs blend was designed, formulated to help you deal with continuing to engage with the news and political activism and be aware of what's going on in the world with and not to get overwhelmed emotionally to the point of apathy. So it in order to test the blend, we would watch the news, smoke the blend, and my team would watch the news and see if we were able to assimilate the information without becoming stressed and stay engaged. So not just to be able to handle the news, but to be able to stay engaged, but from like a centered heart place. And it's a wonderful blend. It does help. And I'll tell you a little bit about what makes it so magical, the herbs that are in it. So we've got mullein leaf, which is in all the blends, but also mullein flower. Mullein is it has a protective energy. So there's the aspect of like energetic protection. If you're feeling solid energetically, it's a lot harder for things to be feeling like they're invading you to the point of destabilizing your center. Mullein is also very much about integrity. So your actions must be in alignment with your sense of integrity, your center. You see the signature in that. If you're familiar with the plant, that like just like totally upright, strong base, those basil leaves, so strong and large, like a very strong base, a deep root or a strong root, and then just like going straight up. So this plant is just amazing, and working with it intensely for the last over the last several years has given me a more intimate knowledge of it, and that sense of integrity is really key to the workings of mullein. It's also a great lung protector on the physical level. So, really, to protect your lungs, if you're going to smoke anything, please add mullein to it. And I've taken care of that for you with all of my blends. It also has red clover in it, which is wonderful for a variety of physical health issues, but on an emotional level for dealing with us times of mass hysteria, and that's coming up over so many issues over the last 4 years. There've been riots, there's been climate change, fires, so many threats to our sense of safety so the majority of the population have had our sense of safety threatened, and in particular with this pandemic. I mean, it is through the roof how much our sense of safety and our basic needs have been triggered. And we cannot do our best work when we are in survival mode. So this red clover is a wonderful plant for helping you see through the mass hysteria side of it, so that you can work with clarity on whatever issue is in front of you, and just so it is stabilizing in that way. Calendula is another great mood plant for dealing with depression. So obviously, just hearing repeatedly racist and sexist remarks by people that have power over you can be very depressing, and I don't know, threaten your sense of faith in humanity. So this plant can help help you come out of the darkness. It's a beautiful orange flower, and just has so much vibrance in dark times. So you can take that medicine inside of you and become the vibrance, become one with that flower, and become the vibrance in the dark time to benefit yourself, to benefit those around you who can see your vibrance. So that's sharing its wealth with you. Tulsi is, or also known as holy basil, is amazing herb that's been used for treatment for a lot of different conditions, including cancer, which also calendula has some benefits for cancer and also fear of cancer. So so when you think about a plant and what things it's good at treating, you're not just looking at the physical ailment itself, but what it does to help you deal emotionally and spiritually with that condition. So in the case of holy basil brings the guidance and wisdom information in from through the crown, and then up from the bottom, that grounding energy to your heart. So it's really helping you be centered in your heart, so that when you respond to this political agitation, irritation, jabs, and threats to your safety, your livelihood, your sense of well-being, your community, your loved ones, you are going to, with this medicine, bring it into your heart and make the decision from there about where you want to go with this. What is the heart-guided activism that you can perform, that you can do? And this is different for everyone. So, is it letter writing? Is it spreading information about events that are happening through social media? Is it showing up in person to do activism? Is it lifting people up who have very little, feeding the poor? That's something that's always needed. There's never harm. So there's many different ways. Prayer. I know some people have criticism in prayer. I find that prayer is very helpful, and there are many studies that prayer can be helpful in decreasing crime rates and increasing peace and wellness. There's so many studies about that, and in my own life, I found it to be true. I personally like to engage with prayer as well as action of some sort. I like that. Feels good to be practical and to use the energies that if you are sensitive and have access to, you can help guide to where you feel like things are needed in life. So really, we have like this sense of integrity. We have like resistance to mass hysteria. We have brightness in this dark time, out of the like yucky, like calendula. It's like physically treating like fungus and yeast and infections that are difficult to heal. Well, that's kind of like, this huge shadow play that's happening right now in our government and in, these power structures, where just like the slimiest, grossest, difficult to heal things are happening. And when you take an herb into you, it educates you, and you become a vehicle for its message. You become a way for it to live out in action. So you can, when you smoke, you can ask to receive guidance and information in a way that you can understand from these medicines that you're taking in. And if you can get to a place of peace through meditation or contemplation, you can get more out of the herbs, and you can integrate more their wisdom and teachings, and always with the intention of doing it for the highest and the best for everyone. It's not in anyone's best interest to lead through destroying other people, or to win through bringing other people down. It is not in their best interest. They may win in the short term, but it's not in their best interest. It is a very, very painful road for anybody karmically who's engaging in those things. So you don't want to do it either. And then last but not least, we have lemon balm. Also a good mood brightener, very cheerful, antidepressant, I would say. Also good for helping with fears about public speaking. So I think this is a time where it's really vital that everyone who is interested in the welfare of humanity speak out and let it be known. This is a great time astrologically over the next 6 months to really take action and to see things through into a place where they are in a stabilized, these desires for betterment of humanity are in a stabilized structure so that they can have long-term consequences that are positive. So I feel like it is a great time for anyone who is on board with improving the welfare of our world, really, in areas like health, climate change, and just general uplifting of people, so that we're all seen as people of value, all of us, and animals of value, earth value. It is so important that everyone who is in alignment with that or sees the necessity for changes in how we're treating the planet, changes how we're treating various minorities and women who are not a minority, but really overlooked a lot of times in terms of like human rights, social justice, because it's easier to talk about. It's easier to get on board with issues that males are involved with, like racism and stuff, and then they're overlooking the needs that are particular to women. So, and animal rights have again been coming to the fore during the pandemic as like masses of animals have been slaughtered because of pandemic problems in factory farms and different issues like that. And the animal conditions are so linked to climate change problems too. So back to my point, I'm all fired up. It is a really good time for anyone who is on board with these ideas to put their voice forward and to really make the collective voice for these changes as loud as we can, because now is a time when we have the U.S. in particular has a chance. We have the leadership, we have the power to make changes, and these changes can last a long time. And the earlier they happen in this term of presidency, the more chance that other people will see the benefit of making these changes to their health, to their finances, to the the impact of our business practices on climate change and our day-to-day lifestyle, use of car and everything like that are affecting the climate change. So for some people, they don't like to use their voice because they get shy or nervous, especially people who get stomach upset because of the idea of speaking publicly about stuff. Lemon balm is your ally. So we got all these brighteners and integrity and heart director herbs, and we have lemon balm to say, hey, I'm like your friend. I think of lemon balm or Melissa. It's like when I've done plant meditations with Melissa, that's the Latin name of lemon balm. I get the message of like, when you need a friend, like I am here for you, and you don't need much. So like the amount that's in these smoking blends is, which you can take as tea too, is plenty, but Melissa is like, I'm your friend. When you need a friend, you say, hey, Melissa, help me out. And that in particular, it's a good herb for public speaking. Yeah. So that's Guerrilla Puffs. Smoke it and see if it helps you. And I really hope you raise your voice to help everybody. Our voices do matter. We are in social isolation, and a lot of people, the numbers keep going up for the virus and the deaths. So it's not a great time to go out and interact with people to do our social changes or to try to make social changes. But you can use your voice, and your voice is very powerful. And politicians are listening to see how many people are talking, so that they can justify the things that they feel like are important anyways, or to push them in the direction of knowing that when they, concede to something maybe they don't want to do, it's because so many people see the value in making the changes. So please use your voice, and if you want to, use my smokes. Anyway, I hope you have a great day. You can find Guerrilla Puffs at brownbearherbs.com. $5 from each pack sold goes to Racist Texas. Racist Texas is an organization that provides free and low-cost legal services to children and families at detention centers along the border. Did you know that women in detention centers are having forced hysterectomies performed on them? Did you know that even though the U.S. government has promised to release and reunite children with their families, that they have not done so? Justice is not blind in a capitalistic society. It costs money. It costs a lot of money. Please help these families that were fleeing from worse places into a better life in the U.S. by helping them get past the border. The smoking blend was made to help you be able to stay present with what's going on in our country and worldwide. If you don't look at what's going on, we will just repeat these atrocities over and over and over again. Please stay present, stay engaged, see the abundance in your own life, and give whenever you can. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell for notifications.